Hi everyone, it's Lou Collins. Thank you for joining me on the CraftStash channel. Now today I'd like to introduce you first of all to a fantastic new collection. This is a brand new licensed product available exclusively at CraftStash, and as you can see it's by the designer William Morris. So we have got the brand William Morris on papercraft items now. If you don't know already, William Morris is a huge name in interior design. So he's a surface pattern designer. You're going to recognize many of the images and the prints that we see throughout this collection. They're huge in home decor, canvases, prints, bedding, curtains, you name it. So it's so popular now already, and you can be creating papercraft products with these too. So I'll run you through the items, and then we're going to do a really fun layering embossing technique using the layering stamps. So first of all, let's look at the papers, because if you haven't come across William Morris before, this will give you a little bit of an overview into the sort of style that we're talking about. Look at these, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous floral. Very often florals and flourishes are kind of what you're going to find with any William Morris pattern. They are really beautiful. I'm in love with this. In fact, this is very similar to the wallpaper that I'm going to be having in my downstairs cloakroom. There's the strawberry thief. Now, this is a really popular design. I see it absolutely everywhere. I would say maybe actually one of the most popular ones from William Morris. This one has been replicated in Vellum as well. We will look at those in just a moment. Look, there's just so much in here. Every colour. I do love the bright colours, but I love that there's some papers that are more monotone, so you don't have to go really bright if that's not your style. So they are 8x8 papers, and they are 150 GSM. So then we've got ephemera to match. As you can see, there's a lot going on in there. There's lots of leaves, foliage. There's the birds in there as well. You've got the beautiful florals. That is jam-packed full. Then we've got some paper ribbons or ribbon strips. These are adhesive, so you've got all of the designs of the papers there in your ribbon strips to pop onto your cards. These I'm excited about. Vellum is beautiful. I never would have thought William Morris patterns in a vellum. So just to show you the translucency there, isn't that just gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. So we've got the blues, we've got the greens, we've kind of got your duck egg blues as well, and teals. Isn't that just stunning? Now obviously you're seeing through those to the other papers below, but they are absolutely beautiful. Let's just pop those aside like so. Then we've got two stamp and die sets. Now each one, you can see the stamps clearly. We have this beautiful, absolutely stunning image. Let's just pop the white cardstock behind here. How gorgeous is that? Now what you also have is the birds here that you can layer up if you want to, if you wanted to kind of do your own decoupage, and you've got some really lovely sentiments that perfectly matches all the imagery. So you grow more special every day, you are loved. As you bloom, so shall you grow, and so on. I love this. Take time for the little things in life. Perfect for retirement, isn't it? And then we've got a second stamp and die set, and this one has more of your florals in there, slightly larger florals, and these are the ones I'm going to be working with today, just to show you that you can actually layer with embossing powder. So we've got our flat flower there, we've got the outline here too, and then we've got the elements that pop inside to layer up. So let's start stamping and heat embossing these, but don't forget with each one you also have your outline dies to cut them out afterwards. So we often have layering stamps, and I think most people probably know how to work with layering stamps. You usually use two different colours and it makes them just look absolutely beautiful. But do you ever heat emboss all your layers? Because this just gives you such a gorgeous effect. And if the heat embossing touches and as it melts, you can sometimes get some beautiful blurry lines, which actually with some images look so fabulous. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, I'm actually going to first of all stamp the colour from the inside. Now what we'd usually do with layering stamps is stamp the outline and then add the colour in afterwards, but not this time. Okay, so I'm going to work with this one here, so this large flower, and I will show you a card at the end. So I'm going to be working onto this green colour cardstock that I already had at home anyway, because this just works beautifully with the colours within the William Morris collection. This is just some plain cardstock from Creative Craft Products. I'm going to pick this up. Because I'm heat embossing, I'm using my CraftStash anti-static powder bag. These are something like £3 something, and do you know what? It lasts. I mean, this one I've probably had for about a year already, and it still works perfectly. And then I'm going to be using my Versamark. This is an embossing ink, but you could use any clear embossing ink for this. So I'm pressing into the bolder, the background colour stamp here with my ink. Just pop that over and make sure that everywhere has just pressed onto that cardstock. I'm using my pressure tool, again available at CraftStash. Everything I'm using is available at CraftStash. And if you are a CraftStash VIP member, you're also going to get 10% off of anything, which includes the William Morris collection. So I'm going to be using a gold embossing powder here. I don't need to keep it within my stamping platform for this, because I'm going to be changing the stamp anyway. And I'm just going to sprinkle that over and pop it back into the pot. Tap off the excess. And I'm going to use my heat tool now just to set that. Now that's set and looking beautiful, I am going to pop this back into my stamping platform and switch up the stamp. So this time I'm going to use the outline. And I'm going to place my stamp just over the gold embossing, making sure that I'm getting it just in the gaps. Now there's a few areas where this actually goes over the gold that's already there. You've got a bit of light on the stamp there, but you should be able to see it okay. So usually what we would say is, well, how can you emboss on embossing? Does it even work? It absolutely does work. So we want to use our anti-static bag again, and we want to make sure this is completely covered with powder. There we go. And I'm just going to press all over the detail of this stamp. There's so much detail in these, they are stunning. This would make a fabulous home decor project as well. You don't have to, of course, be making cards with it. That's just my preference. There we go. So press that all over the image. You should also have some ink on the gold too. And then we're going to take another colour. So I'm going to take a white this time, and I'm going to go over the design and tip that back in. Make sure you tap off any excess and heat set this. But what we want to do is heat set this quite quickly. As soon as the white embossing melts, we want to move on to another area, because you are going to also be remelting that gold too. So just wait until your heat gun is really warm before you start. Keep your heat gun moving around so that you don't capture any areas for too long, which would make the gold underneath melt. And when you think everything's done, isn't that beautiful? You've just got those hints of gold underneath the white. Absolutely stunning. Now, if you were to heat this for too long, what would happen is the gold would melt and the white would melt, and they would kind of bleed into each other. So you wouldn't have those highlights of gold underneath there. But at the moment, you can still clearly see the detail of the white stamp. Now for me to repeat this a few times and to also cut them out with the dies. So there's the finished card with that layered embossing. How beautiful does that look? And of course, because embossing acts as a resist, you could then take your water-based inks and you could colour in behind there as well, and that would just resist that ink. So I hope you've enjoyed this technique, and don't forget, of course, to check out all of the new William Morris products available at CraftStash just here. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this just up here, and we think you're really going to love this video just here. Take care everybody, I'll see you again soon.